Hello, good morning, students. Today we are going to do Unit 3 of the course Food Production Operations. Course code is BSCH25. Unit 3 is Indenting and Planning for Quantity Food, and the topic we are going to do is Indenting Principles. The objective of this session is to understand the basic principles of indenting for volume feeding. Second, to analyze the practical difficulties while indenting for volume feeding. And third, learn about various purchase systems and the importance in specifications. What is the definition of indenting? Indenting is similar to a requisition in which an interdepartmental document sent for, let's say, the requirement of stationaries, food, good items, etc. However, in terms of food, it is refers to as indent sheet. We call it as indent sheet, which means a document stating the requirement of goods in terms of description of goods, the quantity, the specification, the units, the quantity that is required in specified and sent to the store, who in turn will procure the same and dispatch the same to the department concerned. Right. So this is the definition for indent or indent sheet or indenting. Now, indent is a document stating the requirement of the goods with the another definition, that is, it is a document stating the requirement of goods with the quantity required along with its specifications. It is sent to the store department, which in turn procures the item, dispatches the same to department on the specified day. So, if we are giving a day, we can give a 1 week before also indent if there is a party, and we can mention the date that this time, this day, we require the product. So accordingly, the store will manage and they will procure the item and will be dispatched to the particular outlet. So this is a sample indent sheet. So it has got a, if you see the ingredients column is there, then on the top we will write the number of packs. Packs is for how many people the party is there, how many people this is indent sheet will work, then date and the menu. There is a soup, main course or dessert, whatever the menu is there, generally then we write it like this, and then non-veg items like whatever the dishes are there, dish 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the last there is a total. So total you will get to know the quantity, how much quantity is being issued, and if we want to add, we can add a column for the cost as well. So we will come to know at a glance how much amount is being spent as a food cost for this particular party or for this particular function or occasion here. Now there is a various challenges that is faced by indenting, right? So a lot of care has to be taken. So what are the various challenges? The question can come like, what are the various challenges that is faced by indenting? So the first challenge, that is the perishability of the food. Food, whether raw or cooked, is a perishable commodity and has a limited life. The caterer therefore has to ensure that he or she buys the product in correct quality and quantity in relation to estimated demand, and that it is correctly stored and processed. In the same way, the indenting has to be done accordingly, properly. Otherwise, there can be a, if we are indenting more, then that can lead to the high food cost and the loss for the organization, and that there will be issues of storage and other things, right? So it has to be done very uh, it has to be appropriately done, so that there is no extra indenting, or so it should not be very less also, otherwise there will be complaint, guest complaint will be there. Second point that is challenging is departmentalization. Many catering establishments have several production and service departments offering different products and operating under different policies. The coordination between such departments becomes a challenge in itself. So hotel industry, if you know, all the departments are interlinked, and uh, all the, for a particular function there is housekeeping also, production also, service also, so many things are involved at a go. So there is a lot of departmentalization, and that can be a challenge for indenting. Next challenge, that is uneven yield. Yield means the final usable product that we are going to use after we have taken off the wastages. So that is the final yield we call about. So the yield of many ingredients varies considerably during preparation and the production of food in different occasions. So while indenting, it's you must be aware, the person who is indenting, what will be the yield of this product. Non-availability, then the next point is non-availability of some ingredients in the market. Sometimes many imported items are there, that is imported from abroad, and so there can be a challenge. Like if we are indenting and it's not available, then there can be a pressure on the storekeeper, and so there can be a challenge of many products, especially if the product is the out of season or it is an imported one that is not available sometimes. So that can lead to the not available of the dish, and so that is not a very good sign for the organization if we are making a dish not available. Then unpredictability of the volume of business. Sales instability is typical of most food catering establishments. It causes basic problem with regard to the quantities of commodities to be purchased and prepared, as well as staffing required. So we are not sure, in hotel industry how many guests will be coming today. So it becomes sometimes it's unpredictable how many guests will be there. Even if the guest is coming, so how many children will be there, how many women or how many men, because the food habits of different age, sex, and gender varies, right? So the unpredictability of the consumer is the one of the major factor that is a challenge for indenting. People eat in varied proportions, and also we don't know, for example, in a buffet, okay, how much a people will eat which product. That is also a challenge, and large number of people have to be fed in a limited time. Chef has to work within time, tight budgets, and yet has to meet the high expectations of the consumer. So that is a challenge of the indenting, because first of all, in a banquet also, in a buffet also, if the guaranteed guest is 200, and if it 250 comes to 300 comes, then there is a challenge in indenting. And apart from that, we don't know how many children is there, because the eating habit varies from, and apart from that, we don't know that which product the consumer will be. But of course, we have some idea with prior experience, but of course there is a challenge. Now then, what are the principles of indenting? The principles of indenting. Yield of the product is the first point we need to consider when we are considering the principles of indenting. Yield of the product commodity has a huge impact on the indenting of volumes. All the recipes should be updated with the yield, as we need to indent for the net weight in a recipe and not for the usable weight. Similarly, when a product is ordered for a particular recipe, the cuts listed in the recipe must be strictly followed to adhere to the costs and quality. The cheapest item might prove to be expensive in the end, because the yield will be very less. Some suppliers now even sell pre-portioned meat so that the buyer gets an advantage, and there is a consistency of product quality and cost. So yield becomes a very important factor, and generally the bad quality product has got a low yield. So, and what type of cut is there, it is boneless or with bone, what product we are going to make, accordingly the product needs to be, the raw material has to be indented. So nowadays the butchery shops, generally they have everything is portioned, right? They have boneless or with bone, so that while indenting it becomes easy. So for example, if we want to make a tikka, then generally we will order for boneless chicken pieces, not the whole chicken, and we will make a boneless, so that makes it's easy to indent. Then the type of event, what type of event is there? A wedding function would have a huge range of menu catering to 1,000 people, or sometimes even more. When the variety is more, then the quantity consumed will be less. as more of the guests would like to taste most of the varieties. So what is the type of the event, how many dishes are being served, and that also varies. So, and accordingly the indenting has to be done. Then we have regional influence. Regional food also plays an important role in deciding the indenting for a particular item. People from Bengal will love to eat seafood, while people from North would like to prefer chicken. So what type of clientele we are catering to, the type of dish, dry or gravy, also plays an important part in deciding the quantities to be produced. So what is the clientele? Who are the people? From which religion they are? From which region they are? All this factor needs to be considered while we are indenting the products, the raw materials. The service style. The style of service, it is a buffet service or it is a la carte service. What type of service is there? Also determines the indenting and portion size of a dish. It is easy to predict the quantities for a fixed portion. A la carte, it's easy, but in buffet it is sometimes difficult. How much they will consume. So that is also depends. Then upon number of person to feed, that also vary. That indenting depends on the number who is going to be fed, the number of packs, number of items in the menu we have discussed earlier, choice provided in the menu, the number of non-vegetarians and vegetarians that we ask from the guest beforehand, number of vegetarians in the menu. Now we also like that ask from the guest that they are chicken eaters, mutton eaters, beef eaters, or what they prefer. If the European clientele is there, then they will like to have a beef more compared to mutton or chicken, but the Indian clientele will like to have more of chicken. Whether or not Indian bread is there or another rice is included, then choice of desserts provided, selling price of the menu, mise en place to be maintained, and bar stock and closing stock. So all these are the factors that needs to be considered. These are the principles of indenting. Then if we come to the purchase system and specifications, then what are the purchase systems and specifications for the organization? First thing is the market knowledge. So if we are purchasing something from the market, it's very important that we have an idea of the purchase manager should know the commodity market, and it is highly volatile market. So we should be aware that which product is we will get it the best at a reasonable and price in the market. Then that the kind of purchase, what kind of purchase is there. Then we have specifications. So each and every product, raw material, commodity has got a specification. So that must be aware for the purchase. Basically it deals with the purchase manager. What is the amount, what is the specifications, so what type of potato or what type of prawns, what size of prawns, what should be the color of potatoes. There can be a purple potatoes, red potatoes, new potatoes. So what type of potatoes are the specifications. So standard purchase specification is there for each product. So that must be aware, that the purchase manager should be aware of. Then what is the process of buying? So it is an informal buying or a formal buying, and it is a contractual service. Like for a month there is for a year there is a contract, 11 months. The rates are fixed, or we are going to the cash and carry process is being applied, where we are going to the market and purchasing the product. But generally there is a contracts basis it is being so that becomes easy for the organization. For 11 months or 1 month, 1 year contract is there. So the product, the cost will remain the same throughout the year, and accordingly it helps us to make the selling price, also fix the selling price, because we know the food cost. Receiving processes. So it is important to check the receiving, check the process in which the goods will be received, and that should be the process. Like this is the market knowledge, kind of purchase, specification, process of buying, and then the receiving procedure. So when the product will become, how it will be there, what will be the process of receiving, all those things that comes under the purchase systems and specifications. Then we have factors affecting purchase procedures. So these purchase procedures, so what are the factors that will influence it? So the factors are type of establishment. What type of establishment? It is a catering establishment, it is a 5-star hotel deluxe property, it is a 1-star property. What type of establishment it is, right? Or it is a small restaurant. Style of operation and service. So what type of operation is there? Like service style is a buffet service, or it is a the style of service also determines the kind of purchases required. It is also largely responsible for creating standard specifications. For example, the cuts of meat for a buffet would be different from those for a la carte. So generally in a la carte we have large cuts of meat, right? But in buffet it is a smaller cuts of meat. So the purchasing has to be done accordingly. So it has to be mentioned that small cuts, chicken tikka, small cuts, big cut, all those things. So type of service varies, type of function or events. So sometimes the theme of an event or an occasion can also influence the buying pattern. This largely happens in banquets, where the customer has specific demand for the event or functions. Then storage space available. The amount of storage space available at a particular establishment can have a huge impact on the style of the purchasing system and process. If the establishment has fully equipped dry and cold storage, then the purchase can be made in bulk. But when the storage system is not there, then we have to go for the everyday purchasing has to be done, or maybe every alternate days we need to purchase the system. Then geographical location of an establishment can also play a major role in its purchasing system. For example, a hotel situated in Shimla would rely on road transport to procure food from nearby locations such as Delhi or Chandigarh. In the winter season, when snow can hamper the receiving of commodities, the hotels need to alert their systems of purchase. They would need to stock items for such times. Also, if the commodity is not available locally, it would have to be procured through either international market or national markets or other places. Then financial aspects. Some catering establishments that provide subsidized meals would purchase only seasonal and local purchase, as it helps to get good prices and quality. And the skill of the employees. So the skill sets the example of staff also plays a substantial role in the preparing the. For example, an Indian restaurant abroad would have to buy canned sweets because nobody knows how to make a sweet there if there are no skilled craftsmen. So that is how the purchasing process is effective on this 7 points. Now we have some questions, practice questions that can be done. Like the first one is list various challenges while indenting, analyze various factors to be considered for indenting, elaborate the principles of indenting, and explain the factors affecting various purchasing process. Reference books, we have referred Quantity Food Production Operations and Indian Cuisine by Parminder Bali, Practical Cooking by Thangam Philip, Taste of India by Madhur Jaffre, Breads of India by Purabhi Babbar, Cooking by Indian Masters, Masala Magic by Sanjeev Kapoor, Professional Chef by Arvind Saraswat. Thank you so much, students, and we will meet in the next session. Thank you so much. Have a good day.